Aloha guys, Aaron from Hawaii Music School, and as most of you know, I'm actually going to be traveling next week to Bellevue, Washington to be doing a concert there. It kind of came up, high G or low G? Which one do you pick? A lot of the songs that I play, Kyle Crater Boys based, so I have the high G here, but I also play a lot of low G stuff. In fact, more so when I wrote out my set list, I was kind of surprised to learn that I'm playing more low G songs than high G songs, which kind of brought up the interesting question, and this is not something somebody asked. This was something that I'm pretty much asking myself. You know, you've got guys like Jake Shimabukuro, Kale Gamiao. They all play a high G ukulele. You have guys like Abe Lagrimas Jr. and Corey Fujimoto that play a low G ukulele. I'm sure all of them play both high and low G, and they have their preferences for a specific reason. But you know, a lot of guys don't travel with two ukes, and I'm traveling with two ukuleles, and because of that, bringing a tenor ukulele on an airplane is usually okay. If you bring it in a gig bag, you're good to go. But I'm taking two of them, so we'll see how that goes. In fact, I'm planning on vlogging on our trip, so you guys will be seeing a bunch of that stuff. I don't have a camera though. I'm shooting this on my webcam, and everything else I do on my phone. So as we're going through this, I think I'm going to start acquiring some equipment, hopefully better stuff than what I have now. The ukuleles that I'm taking, a custom made Weimer, and Jeb Weimer makes these right there in Haleiwa, Hawaii. Jeb is a phenomenal builder. He actually learned to build ukuleles from Noah Bonk, who built my other ukulele that I'm taking. My favorite ukulele visually growing up was always the On Fire ukulele that Sunny D made for Troy Fernandez on the Ka'au Crater Boys album On Fire. And I would look at the cover of that and I would be like, man, one day I'm going to have an ukulele that looks like that. And it was always stuck in my head. Years later, Aldrin came out with his signature model, which was a kanilea. And I really liked the look of that too. And I was like, man, I bet that's what he was thinking, was that On Fire ukulele, because that's what I wanted too. Basically, I talked to Noah Bonk of Ko'ola Ukuleles, and I told him I wanted an all-koa ukulele with a fat rosette that went around that looked like the On Fire album. And he looked at me and he's like, nah, I don't want to do that. And I was like, come on, man, just build it for me. He's like, I don't like the look of the thick rosette. You know, you can have somebody else do it. And I was like, yeah, but I want a uke that you built, because he built my first ko'ola, and I loved it. I thought it was an amazing ukulele. And he tells me, he says, well, you know, Jeb that used to work for me here, he builds ukuleles now, and Jeb will build you anything you want. He doesn't care if it's a fat rosette or, you know, all the specifics that you want. He'll build it any way you want. So I was like, oh, awesome. So I got in touch with Jeb Weimer. I'd known Jeb because I'd go to the ko'ola shop a lot, and I'd go see the guys down there, and Jeb was always one of the guys that I talked to. And so I contacted Jeb, and he lives in Haleiwa, and I was working in Haleiwa at the time. And so Jeb comes over, and he, I wasn't expecting him to, you know, bring stuff, but he comes over and he's got some koa, and he's like, well, see, I've got this stuff right here, and it's from a tree that was cut down in Tantalus, and it ended up being this ukulele. Every week he would come in and bring me a part that was like halfway done and stuff, and I'd snap off a few pictures of it, I'd get all excited about it and stuff. And I remember when he finished it, I was like, man, such an amazing looking ukulele. And I threw him some curveballs too. He had started making it, and he actually put the whole body together. And then I was like, oh man, I thought it was going to be a pin bridge. And he's like, oh, you didn't specify that. And I was like, come on, man. Like, you know, I like pin bridges. And so I was like, nah, that's okay. Don't even worry about it. About a week later, he comes in and he's like, well, he's like, it's a pin bridge. I made it a pin bridge. It was a pain in the ass to get the backing in there behind the bridge, but I got it done. He's like, oh, and by the way, now you have a side hole. And so he bound it. He put binding around the side hole. I never knew anything about the side port, and it was something that Jeb was doing for a while. I thought it was really cool, the whole process of getting a custom uke made. And if you look at my ukulele, you notice that there's no purfling or anything around it. It's just wood. So you've got koa, you've got the kokobolo, and that's it. You know. And over here you've got koa, kokobolo, maple, kokobolo, back to koa. The kokobolo fretboard, and this was the first ever slotted headstock that Jeb designed. And I really thought that was an extra special feature. You know, it was great when I took delivery of this, and it's it's been with me every time I've gone to Washington. This is pretty much the uke I probably play most often because I teach in an elementary school, and for the very reason that all the ukuleles in elementary school are Haiji, I use this one more often. This is my ko'olau, and this one right here is the first custom uke I ever had made for me. And we actually documented the making of this one on Andrew's page, Hawaii Music Supply. And he, I'd been playing ponos for a while, and Andrew comes up to me one day. He's like, "Hey, how'd you like a ko'olau?" I was like, "Man, I'd love a ko'olau, but I can't swing the cash for it." And he's like, "Listen, man, you've been playing ponos for so long, and you guys, you sell so many of them, and you do good by my family. So I'd like to have one built for you." And so Andrew basically paid for this to be built for me. And so if you guys know Andrew Kitakis, he's probably, in my personal opinion, one of the most generous people that I've ever met. He got me started teaching ukulele basically through his treachery, and I thank him for that. And he, to this day, is still probably my biggest supporter in terms of trying to be, make it on my own as a teacher. And, so I owe that guy a lot, man. He's awesome, awesome cat. But this ukulele was kind of an accident. Noah asked me what kind of wood I wanted on it, and I remembered that like a long time ago, we had a ko'olau come through with all Cuban mahogany on it. The whole thing was Cuban mahogany. I thought that was just like the most incredible looking, the most incredible sounding ukulele I'd ever seen at that point. And so soon as he asked me what wood I wanted, I was like, Cuban mahogany. And just right off the bat. And he's like, "Okay, well, what do you want for the top?" I was like, "Oh, just make the whole thing out of Cuban like that last one I saw." And he was like, "Well, you want it a little bit louder? I can use a softer wood for the top." And I was like, "You know what, man? Your choice. Whatever you think will work best." And if you know Noah Bonk, you know that, I mean, man, talk about a guy that knows his wood and knows how to make the ukulele sound good. And so, because I trust his ear, he came up with the idea of using redwood. And the redwood on this is incredible. The grain is so tight. It's very, very old. It is actually like wood that came out of the side of a barn or something. And the Cuban mahogany on this one was actually, I found out later because he told me, well, Jeb told me. He's like, he looks at it, he's like, "Hey, that's my wood." I was like, "What?" And so, yeah, it turns out when Jeb worked for Noah, he had a bunch of wood stashed away in the side, and he put it in the back. And Noah ended up making me a uke out of the wood that Jeb had stored over there. And Jeb was just like, "Yeah, whatever." But like, I mean, it was a pretty cool thing. So that like both of these have so many ties to each other. These are the two ukuleles I play the most and that I take with me when I do travel. And I'm doing a low and a high G for this concert, which I'm probably going to play for like an hour and a half. Taking two ukuleles on a plane, and I mean, one day I'm hoping that I hit the point where I've got friends up there that are builders or somebody that owns a really nice uke that'll let me use it for a concert. But ideally, to meet more builders and stuff and get around and play their stuff, and then it promotes them too. So kind of looking at that as a means. I know a couple of really good builders in Washington State. I know Zach Steimel from Oceana Ukuleles is amazing. Um, I hear really good things about this guy in Walla Walla, Washington, named Dwayne, who owns Black Bear Ukuleles. I heard he is a fantastic builder. I've seen a concert ukulele that he made, and I thought that was pretty incredible. So maybe next time I'm in Washington, I'll contact those guys and see if if I can use one of their ukes. So I don't need to be taking these two on a plane. But I've got so many people that that I've been coming to see. So many people that know these ukes already because I travel with them so often. So if I were to leave the Weimer home, which I haven't done yet, uh, people would probably be like, "Hey, where's the Weimer?" And if I left the Koala home, people would probably ask the same question about it. So it's like I've almost become synonymous with these two ukuleles, and it's quite an honor considering like basically I'm a teacher. I'm not nobody. I mean like Jake has his ukulele that everybody knows him for. Um, Kale's got that really beautiful cutaway kamako with the Brazilian rosewood and the bear claw spruce top, and he's known for that ukulele. And so to be synonymous with a brand or a specific ukulele. In fact, Jeb named this one. The model name is TK2A, which stands for Aaron. So, you know, that was a pretty big deal for me because like, oh man, I'm a guy on YouTube that teaches people how to play. This is a C chord. Take your finger 3, put it on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and strum down. I mean, that's what people know me for, and it's like really cool to get out there and talk to people that are like, hey man, that one ukulele you did the Guava Jam video with, man, that thing is so beautiful, and it's really good to see people notice that because it does bring some attention to the builder, which I think we need to do more. In fact, the Ukulele Guild of Hawaii, I think, is probably some of the most underrated builders in the world. There are people all over that come. Manny Hallican of Pahukane Ukuleles, his ukes are beautiful, and Keith Miley, his ukuleles are beautiful, and just so many guys and so many builders all over the United States, all over the world that I mean, I'm seeing stuff when I go through my Facebook page. I'm kind of scrolling up there and I see all these guys like the Philippines, Thailand. These ukuleles that I see are amazing. And the worst part is I am like addicted to gear, and so I want all of them. And it's like my wife tells me no, but I still want them. It's one of those things. I think it's a guy thing. Um, with ukuleles, how many do you really need? Well, one more. I always say one more. And I tell everybody all the time it's because I can only have one wife, so I need to have some sort of a harem. And I guess the ukuleles are my harem. I have a lot of guitars too, which are even more expensive than the ukuleles. So uh, it's an expensive hobby. So I'm gonna need to step up my game, I think, as a teacher if I want to make enough money to afford this habit. But yeah, low and high G ukuleles. I'll be traveling to the mainland twice this month with 2 ukuleles. So I'll let you know how it goes as far as being able to get on the plane, hopefully with both of them. We'll see if they let me on, right? This has been kind of a long video, just talking about pretty much nothing. 2 ukuleles, and I don't even know if anybody watches these vlogs, but I have fun putting them out there. So as always, any questions or comments, go ahead and comment below, questions below, or you can hit me up at hmsukelessons@gmail.com. Till next time, aloha.